So L'chaim, L'chaim, and without further ado, we have over here Master Rabbi Fishel Jacobs.
Anyway, L'chaim, L'chaim, everybody. L'chaim, everybody. Okay, I'm going to break this with my head.
Oh, what?
Yeah, but, yeah, serious, I'm going to break this with my head. The reality is, anyway, L'chaim.
Amen.
Just, where's the bottle? Where's the bottle? Where's the bottle? The bottle's around?
Yeah. If you break that with your head, you can drink the whole bottle.
Listen, Rabbi, they gotta be on a plane too. I don't have to be on any planes tonight.
He's just going to be flying.
I can just fly. I graduated from the University of Vermont. They said you're not allowed to drive and drink, but if you drink enough, you can actually fly. The reality is, first of all, I told Yosef Yitzchak, I wasn't really sure like it's a great idea anyway to speak with anybody tonight because you guys have been up early and you guys actually do stuff. I mean, you guys are, no, I'm actually retired, so
I'm scared to go to sleep when you're here.
No, the thing is, you guys actually still like do things. I'm like retired from my I worked in the prison for 13 years. I'm a prison officer. I'm retired, so this is the only thing I've actually done today. So I say exactly. I haven't done anything. When you're retired like me, you don't do very much. I said, come in here and speak a little. So let me just do the first break, okay? It's the first time I've been doing this in 6 months, and the reason is because I've been doing this for 30 years. The problem is that my back was so bad in terms of like hernias, and they have like calcium. It's like they say, and the MRI I have like 2 backs, and the doctors like 15 years ago said you can never do this again. Well, okay, I squeezed 15 years out of my body. The thing is that 6 months I've been saying for like 5 years. This is the last time I do it with my head because it hurts so much afterwards. But 6 months ago, I promised myself, but I like you guys. I'm going to do it for you guys, okay?
Oh my gosh, are you sure? We have a doctor here.
You have a doctor here. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. It's okay. This is not the problem. If there's going to be damage, it's going to be over there. Okay. Was that cool? Was that okay?
Yeah! Where did you learn to do these?
In prison.
Working for a builder.
Just want to get you guys in the spirit because now you're seeing the karate part. But I just want to like share with you briefly because I don't know how you guys are going to be able to listen after I drink all that vodka. This is me in the prison. Okay? These are some of the prison shots here.
Was that here, Rabbi?
You just call me Fish. My first name is Fish, so just call me Fish, it's okay.
Fish.
Call them Rabbi, just call me Fish. These are some of my prison shots.
Nice fish.
Thank you, right? This is my favorite shot. I was a rabbi, I'll talk about that afterwards. I actually have my uniform from the prison.
Where was the prison?
The prison was 15 minutes away from here.
Oh.
15 minutes away from here.
Amazing.
And
What's the demographic?
the demographics, I had 700 prisoners in my prison, 500 criminals, 200 terrorists. And I was the rabbi. I was very high ranking. I was a major, which means that there was only one person higher ranked than me in the prison, which is the warden. But I had two functions. I was the rabbi, and also over my 13 years, I was rabbi over 4 different prisons. But most of the time, I was over Nitzan prison, who was on the name of somebody my warden, who was murdered by one of my prisoners in 1980. That was the history marked that guy who killed my warden, the Israeli Al Capone. He was that guy. He murdered 3 guys. He was a tough guy. He was in my prison. I had guys 17 life sentences. Very bad guys. The guys you read about in the news and CNN and everything, those guys ended up in our prisons. I was born in Brooklyn. Okay? Brooklyn, New York, famous Brooklyn, the real Brooklyn. When I was 10 years old, Dad moved us up to here. It was Vermont, South Worthington, Vermont. 10 years old, walk in, South Worthington, right in the middle of Vermont. I mean, smack dab in the middle. South Burlington, Vermont has 900 people. I did the research because I write books. I wrote like 10 books. South Burlington, Vermont has 900 people in it. South Burlington, Vermont 500 years ago had 900 people in it. And I guarantee in 500 years we'll only have 900 people. I don't have no idea. It's the truth. But we do have 3 churches. We have 3 churches and a bank and a grocery store and a barber shop. And sometimes the barber shop becomes the grocery store. But we have a good time over there. And actually, we have 3 churches. And actually, my father helped them buy one of them. I'm serious. My father's a wealthy businessman. He's into processing poultry. And they came to my father, he's a very wise man. And they came to my father and said, they want to buy the building, but the bank won't give it to them. So my father gave him some sort of idea. Something like, if you don't sell us the church, I don't know, we're going to build, I don't know, like a bar next to it or something stupid. He gave me the idea, and that was how they got the church. I have no idea why I'm saying that. So anyway, my house is right here, okay, on the side street, Pleasant Street. Every village in Vermont has a Pleasant Street. So, and this is where I grew up, all right? Till I was 22, I graduated from the University of Vermont. We had horses before the highway. We used to take my horses. I had 12 horses. We used to take the horses in back of the house for 3 or 4 days. Me and my friend Philip Bassett take the horses, no saddles. Just go take our rifles, fishing rods, go up 3 or 4 days. Had the greatest time. So what happened was, I walked into school the first day. We moved up from Vermont, from Brooklyn. First day. This is how I spent the first afternoon on my back, defending myself. The day I walked in, the next day, the kids were told by their parents that we're Jews, and we killed Jesus, and that they have to attack me personally. I was 10 years old, and I had big guys. I remember the names till today: Gary Ingram and some other Howard, some other guy, beating the crap out of me every single day for 6 months. It's a true story. And what happened was, when you're 10 years old, that's frightening. I mean, fighting is frightening a lot. Well, not a lot, but fighting is frightening. 6 months they went to the principal, they went to the superintendent, and there's nothing you can do. Because if they're beating you up in the playground, or they're beating you up in the locker room, or on the way home, that's not on the school grounds. 6 months later, an uncle from New York is visiting, and he says to my father, Harold, you got to teach your kid how to take a bath to school. Meaning, toughen up, kid. Toughen up. Toughen up. They found in the newspaper a Korean woman who had just moved from, I'm 11 years old now, from Korea, South Korea. This is the woman. This was the woman. She had moved back. Her husband was a ex-GI in the U.S. Army. They moved back to central Vermont. They opened a karate gym. I was their first student. I was their first student, and she says that I was her best student. As time goes on, I became really dedicated. Okay? I did it from 11 until 22 years old in college, 5 hours a day. Literally 5 hours a day. When I was born, they named me Philip. Okay? My great-grandfather's name was Fishel. F-I-S-H-E-L. Fishel. But in America, they're not going to call a kid Fishel, they call me Philip. When I was growing up and I was fighting, or just in high school and college, they call me Flip, which is really the name I really like. That's the name I really want to be called. But yeah, I mean, Fish is what I got to do because I'm religious now, but Flip is my name.
Fish is a very religious name.
What's that?
Fish is a very religious name.
Yeah, but Flip is also religious. It's just religious in a different religion. But answer your question, people always ask me two questions. Number one, did you get back at those guys? And number two, they say, did you ever use karate in real fights? Okay? So, let me answer the first question. This is how I started looking when I was like 15 years old, 16 years old, okay? In 1976, so the answer is that because I was looking like that, people just left me alone. That's the reality of it. When you're confident, people leave you alone. And you've probably heard this a million times, that 80% of a fight is mental. It's 95% is mental. In 76, I told my instructors that I want to go to the Olympics. Okay, so I was winning like everything. I took like the 1976 East Coast heavyweight title, even though now I'm not as heavy as I was then. Then I was 185 pounds. So I was fighting heavyweight. 1976, they sent to Korea and they said that Flip wants to be trained for the Olympics, and they put me on the team. And they said it's going to take 8 years to train you. And the reason is because when you go into an Olympic fight, according to the Orientals, if you miss one international tournament and you lose, you'll never represent that country again. So they had to make sure that before you go into the ring, you've got it down. So I got 4 years into that. So I met these guys in college, okay? I'm in the University of Vermont. Someone introduced me to the rabbi. The Rabbi, that's why I like these guys. I love these guys. Because my life is because of these guys. It is what it is. Look, I didn't have to marry a Jewish girl. In Vermont, it wasn't going to happen. I got an Israeli wife, 7 kids, 13 grandchildren. That's one of my kids. That's my son-in-law. I mean, this would never have happened if it wasn't for these guys. If it wasn't for these guys in the University of Vermont, I'd still be in Vermont. And I don't know where I'd be at right now. So that's why I love these guys. Let's give an applause to these guys. It's true. It's true, man. They save us. They save us. In the University of Vermont, and the rabbi says, come over every Friday night. He says, you got to come over for a Friday night meal. Rabbi had. The problem was that it was very, very boring. The whole thing was very boring. The rabbi thing was boring. But I felt bad for him because the rabbi was like a very scholarly guy, but no one came to his house except me. So I felt sorry for the rabbi, I really did. I went to his house for 4 years, and he says to me, and he never spoke to me about keeping mitzvahs. His attitude was, this guy is a disciplined fighter, he'll figure it out. Never spoke about religion once, 4 years. So this is focus. I mean, this is not a joke. This guy can do whatever he wants. This guy can do whatever he wants. And all I knew was the karate, right? And 4 years, I'm at the rabbi's house. And I don't think I'm getting anything out of it. I'm just feeling like I'm doing him a favor. They called me to New Hampshire, New Haven, Connecticut once, at a fight. I have 2 months left to graduate college. משקיע, תראה לי יש פה את התמונה של הרב הכט. זו תמונה קטנה, אם תינוק. 2 months before I graduate college, right? 4 years into training for the Olympics. I'm in the ring in New Haven. It's the morning. Guy turns around. Oh, this was my rabbi. He's not alive anymore. This was my rabbi. I'll tell you what happened. 2 months, so in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, we're fighting. Guy turns around, sweeps his hip, spinning back kick, breaks my nose. Okay, fine. Breaks my nose. Okay. So they take me out, and they put cotton in your nose and try to straighten it a little bit, medics, and had a fight that night, okay? Against, it was a team fight. So I'm sitting in the grass, just trying to relax, get my strength for the fight in the nighttime. Comes nighttime, it's 11 o'clock at night, the televisions, there are 10,000 people in New Haven, Connecticut. My team Sorry for my voice, because I yelled. My team had 2 wins. Their team had 2 wins, right? My team is Korean. You don't know about this. You don't need to know about this. Koreans hate Japanese. You know about that? Maybe you heard of this. I don't even till now know why Japanese and Koreans hate each other. Jews and Arabs, small stuff. They really, I don't even know what they did to each other. So my club is Korean, this club is Japanese. They won 2, we won 2. My fight, deciding fight, whose club wins. Okay, it's a huge trophy. And this is like, 10,000 people, television, okay? Last fight, and I'm dead. I mean, Olympics and this, your nose is broken. Get in the room with this guy. We start turning around, and I'm looking for an opening, and he's looking, I'm hitting, hitting, and he's slapping, he's hitting. Yeah, I get a point, he gets a point. Everything's cool. Go up to 3 minutes, you finish 3 minutes, no one wins. Okay, overtime. And we're, punching, he's hitting and slapping and, throwing me down, okay, fine. Minute overtime, no one wins. Minute overtime, no one, and I'm going crazy, I'm dying, I can't do this anymore. Been doing this for 13 years of my life, 5 hours a day. I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, going to the wood to train for 2 hours. In the nighttime, I was going through blind fighting. Blind fighting is when they take, after 4 hours of training a day, they blindfold you. They take a stick in a quiet room, and they say, walk. You walk, and they take a heavy stick, and they say, block. And you're supposed to block. You're supposed to feel the block. You're supposed to feel the block. You're supposed to feel the block. You're supposed to walk. And they go, step! You step. I'm sorry, this baby's here, I'm sorry. I don't want the kids to like. No, they say step. You step, and you have to block, and then it hits you over there. And they step, you step, like block, step! And like you're trying to, and you're getting hit and bloody and broken bones. I did that for 2 years. This is like a whole world. This is like, until they finally learn how to fight blindfold. This is what I live, this is my life. I'm in there with this gorilla. And this guy goes, 2 minutes overtime. The last half a minute of overtime. Okay? So that's all you're allowed to do. I imploded, my brain imploded. You know what that means? You can explode, you can implode. My brain imploded. I said to myself, what is going on? I'm in the ring fighting this guy. What is my life? This is ridiculous. What do they want? I said, my God, because my teacher was my master. She was like my goddess. For 13 years, I just listened to her. I said, what does she want? I'm dying, just not a Roman, why do they take me out? And then I said to myself, oh my God, I'm a pawn, they want the trophy. This is what happened to my brain, Brains are like funny things, like it could be a small thing, but it's a big thing, you know what I mean? And then I said, oh my God, it's not absolute. My karate's not absolute. I'm a pawn, they should take me out, I could get killed. And then I said to myself, well, okay, 1 second, what is absolute? Bingo! I saw the rabbi's face at the Friday night dinner table. You know what a fleeting thought is? This was less than a fleeting thought. I saw his face, his smiling face. He had this like scholarly smile. I never knew what he was smiling about. And I said, my God, what does he want from me? And you know what the answer was? Nothing! He doesn't want anything from me. I'm not a pawn. He just wanted me to be at his Friday night tables. I said, my God, that's weird. That's crazy. You know what a millionth of a second is? That's how long it took. And that's how long, that was the first, when you close the door and there's no windows and you open a little bit, there's a little light, it's not dark anymore. The problem was I got back to the university, okay, and they said that the rabbi is ill, okay. I made my decision then. I said to myself, Fish, Flip, whatever they call you. I don't know anything about my religion. I said to myself, at 185 pounds of fighting muscle, black belt, Olympics, I don't know anything about my religion. Fish, Flip, Philip. I don't know anything about this thing. It killed me when I realized I don't know anything about my own religion. There's something. I said to the rabbi, and they said to me, the rabbi's dying. The rabbi moved up when he was 28. 4 years later, he's 32. He had 2 babies in Burlington, Vermont. This is one of them. They said he has a cancer on his brain. He's got like 4 months to live. It's a true story. And I said to the rabbi, Rabbi, what should I do? And he turns to me and says, I said, should I stay here because no one else is coming to your house? I didn't say that, but I mean, that's what, And he says, no, Fishel, your life has to go in your path, and whatever God has plans for me. He died 2 months later. And I went to yeshiva. I went to Crown Heights, and then I went to Kfar Chabad. I've been here for 40 years. I've been here for 40 years. 40 years, man. I'm 60, in 2 weeks I'll be 60 years old. Don't worry about it. I can still beat most of the kids in my gym. Anyhow. In the yeshiva, I want to let you guys listen to something that nobody in the world has, okay? I came here for a year, and you guys didn't ask me the other question, though. Everyone always asks me another question that you didn't ask.
Did you win that fight?
I knew it. Why are you being shy? Come on, we're all friends over here.
I was.
What's that? You were going to
I
ask?
thought it was coming.
What's going on, man? Making you guys feel uncomfortable or something? Come on, be friendly. I won that fight.
You did.
I won the fight. I won the fight out of a decision. I came to yeshiva, right? I had, in the 70s, everybody was becoming a Baal Tshuva. It was a movement. Everyone was, not everyone, but everyone, there was millions of yeshivas in Israel. My class, I had guys in my class who had A++ from Princeton in theoretical mathematics. There was guys who used their brains, and they were really good at the yeshiva. Yeshiva's brains, right? I wasn't good at the brains. I only had one thing. I had discipline, but I didn't have brains. I had all the energy in the world, but I couldn't do the yeshiva. I couldn't do the Gemara thing. So I couldn't do that stuff, right? But I had one guy in Kfar Chabad, my teacher. Now he's an older man, Rabbi, the pastor. He says to me, Tavit Tanya, Tanya. He goes, Fishel, did you ever learn, this was the most important sentence a man ever asked me in my life. He said to me, Fishel, I'm walking back and forth for a year and a half. Like a karate guy walks. And I can't get it. They're like throwing, and they gotta learn Chassidus. You know, Chassidus says that's really, woo! Spheres and neshamas and worlds and the tzilas and woo! And then you gotta learn Yiddish. I'm Ashkenazi, right? So like my grandma, I was proud of being Ashkenazi. I learned Yiddish. Yeah, right, okay. Okay, you know, first like learn how to read. Then they have Rashi's script. You ever see that? You ever see the book of Rashi's script? You know, why don't you just throw it all at, you know, because in Chabad, they don't like bring you into the religion like slowly. It's like the first day, like you're doing, you know what I mean? It's not like a seminar. It's not like, you know, make you feel good. No, you go to the Babich Yeshiva. First day, okay, 5 o'clock in the morning, everyone's in the mikvah. The mikvah, what? And then you gotta go to the, that's when you're in Nigla. Nigla means you have to learn Talmud. My father says to me, what are you doing over there in Israel? I said, we're learning Talmud. He goes, what's that? He says, it's a big book. And he says, what language is this Aramaic? My father's a New York businessman. He looks at me, he says to me, Flip, Fishel, listen, what? That's Aramaic. He goes, you learning Aramaic? I said, I'm learning Aramaic. He didn't say he could barely speak English. He didn't say that. He said to me, where do they speak Aramaic nowadays? I said to my father, I don't think they speak it anywhere. So he goes, it's true, man. My father's a businessman. What's all this Aramaic? He says to me, what do you do in the Aramaic? I said, that's what they do. Religious people learn Aramaic. He says, why? I don't know. Just get off the train. Okay, so let me tell you guys. Yeah, I know, it gets better. So he says, did you ever learn Tanya by heart? Crazy. Never heard. Where you get it from anyway? California? California. Guy goes, did you ever learn Tanya by heart? I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. But that's okay, I'm used to it by now. He goes, it's a serious guy, it's like the head of yeshiva. He goes, the book of Tanya, the letters are holy. An old guy, I mean, I was obedient, because karate makes you obedient, right? So I listened to these old guys. She says, the letters are holy. I said, okay. So he says, learn the letters by heart. I said, what do you want me to do? He says, learn the letters by heart. I said, how do you do that? He says, no, there's no technique. I said, how fast? He goes, no speed. I said, do I have to understand it? He goes, you have to understand it. The letters are holy. Engrave them in your brain. That was, first of all, he didn't have to tell me that I don't have to understand it. That was like kind of a given. I didn't need his permission, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like if he said you ain't got to understand it, the outcome would be the same. She says, it's just engrave the letters in your brain. So I said, what's the point? He says, because the letters are holy. For the next 4 years, whatever I did in karate, I did the same 4 or 5 hours a day in Tanya by heart. And what I did was I took every single letter. The first letter and the header of the first page is Likutei Amarim. That's the first letter of the header in the first page. And I took the Lamed, because he said you have to engrave it in your brain, right? That I knew how to do. Because I knew how to engrave punches. I knew how to make a knee. I knew how to engrave stuff in my soul. That's all I did for 15 years, 13 years. I took that Lamed, I sat in the corner of the yeshiva, and I started memorizing the Lamed, but I took it in a way, I imagined the head, and I couldn't even do a whole letter at a time. I took half a letter at a time. The top of it, and it said, la, 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 la. Just to engrave it. I thought about it in my brain, I thought it outside of my brain, inside of my brain, outside. Till I felt that the top part of the Lamed was engraved in my brain. Then he walks up to me and I said to him, after 4 months, I woke up and this is a book that I have in my house. I only take it out once a year on Yittas Kislev. I walked up to my rabbi and I said, would you please let me say in front of you the first chapter of Tanya by heart? And I stood there like a little 5-year-old kid and I said, Perek al Tanya b'sof perek yom azunid and Hashem v'yisei titzati v'afimash v'afilu kol ha'olam kulo v'chatzadi v'dahev v'nechel karasha. וצריך להבין, דעת נפוס בגדול, ושם נכנס וגם ידענף כנשי, אבל לבוא ויצא לא יכול לבוא לבית, ושבסמכות פתור לבבים לא יראה לבוא כלל, מזה יכול לבוא לידי כל אחד שמחים, קינים, מצינים, היכול צדיק וטוב לצדיק ברלי, שבטייב דו, שבלבין הפישו, במות צדיק וטייב לצדיק. I did that, and he took my little book, he signed it, that's the year, like 30 years ago. And I looked at him and I said to him, I'm 25 years old. And I said, what now? He says, to the second chapter. And I went back 4 months later, 5 hours a day. Every single letter, engraving it in my brain. Perek base. I went up to him and I said, Perek base, he said, hey, Perek, מה זה דפק מתוך הפרש מתוך יתו פנים לשתוק יספנים ושחי של אדם. The whole chapter, he signed my book. 4 years of that. And this is a book I have in my house. I ended up with 30 chapters. The thing about the Tanya was, they said to me, it's not enough to do in yeshiva. For the last 40 years, every day I review 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 chapters by heart, every single day. But I want to share with you something no one else in the world has. I went back to New York on one of my visits, 25 years old. I have the Tanya by heart. The only one in the world, okay? The only one, no one believes I'm going to ever be a rabbi. I wrote like 10 of these books, man. This is like major. Now, I go to Vermont to do Pesach. I'm coming back to Kfar Chabad, to Israel. In those days, the Rebbe used to let people come into his office. You guys were just in the Rebbe's office, right? There's a picture of the Rebbe's office with the president of Israel, so I guess. I don't know. Is that the president? One of these guys.
Shazar.
That's Shazar?
Former president of Israel.
What? Yeah, so that's the Rebbe. This is the way it actually looks. I mean, yeah. So this is the Rebbe with Shazar in the Rebbe's office. You know, within the whole thing. So pass it around. It's not. Just pass it around. So the night before I come back to Israel, they let. I wasn't special. They let every guest go into the Rebbe's office and have a few words with the Rebbe. I mean, to get his blessings and his encouragement and his advice and stuff. So I was so naive. This is the unique part. I went in with my mother because she brought me from Vermont to New York to go and get on the plane at Kennedy. Before we went into the Rebbe's office, I said to my mother, "This is supposed to be really special. It's the Rebbe, it's not like, So I took a tape recorder and I put it in my mother's pocketbook. And I said, right, and there's thousands of people, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's like, 1,000 people waiting in line, and they say go into the Rebbe's office, and the Rebbe's sitting there, and you have your 1 or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, we had like 6 minutes, and the Rebbe, you're just with him in the room, alone. And I put the tape recorder on, and I have that here. The 6 minutes of Rebbe, I have that here. Nobody else has that. No one else has it. And not only that, I have it transcribed. He spoke to us in English. I have it on a piece of paper where he spoke, what was the conversation. And you can actually hear the Rebbe, you can actually see the words, okay? Is that good? Where it goes like this. The Rebbe's sitting here by himself. And he has 2 chairs like in the picture. The door is right over here, okay? The door to the thing. So Rabbi Cronin says walk in. So you walk in, and you have a piece of paper that you wrote your name and your father's Hebrew name, or your mother's Hebrew name, someone's Hebrew name on it, and then you walk up to the Rebbe and you give him the piece of paper. So the Rebbe's actually sitting there. And then, in my case, so I put the tape recorder on, you can hear that now. And as we walk in, the Rebbe's there, and you give him the piece of paper, and he looks at you. And then, and then he said to us, sit down. So my mother and I sat down, okay? So that's like the scenario. So now I'll let you guys listen, okay? This is fun, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? You know why they call me Fish? You know why they call me Flip? Because it all rhymes with fun. I just made that up, man. We'll listen to this together. Just 2 points. One, there was 2 prophecies here. Prophecy number 1, that the Rebbe told me to become smicha. To get smicha, become a rabbi. Everyone else says a stupid jock. The Rebbe had faith in me. Just let me tell you something. I was the first American ever, after this, what you're going to hear now. The first American who got ordination to become a rabbi from the head rabbi of Israel. Yes.
Which head rabbi?
Head rabbi, Mordechai and Shapiro, yeah. The first American because of this Yechidus. Everyone else says the guy's a karate guy, he can't learn. The Rebbe doesn't see that. The Rebbe sees what we don't see. That's number 1. And the second thing is, the Rebbe told me where to find my wife. Yes! Yes! And then the women go, yes, so I like this part. I like this part. Okay. Okay, here we go. Some of it's better, easier, okay? But you can, if you look at the paper, you'll be able to follow.
God Almighty bless every one of you and those members of the family, those things necessary, spiritually and materially, and especially to have much matters, much receive from every one of the children in all aspects, and to receive these matters in good health, in good also, to raise the children to good Almighty things. Let us to go forward and start to tailor according to His wish and to do all the things we enjoy in this world. Vermont. What is your occupation? And you are living in Vermont. It might not love to have it, Those folks to every very close contact. They do all the time. Mention is the real access to the not
Did you get that? Yeah. I knew it! The women got it! The man, the women got it! The Rabbi's finishing his blessings, right? Okay, have nachas, enjoy yourself, make money, have a good life. And then the Jewish mother goes, and to find a good girl, shit, or whatever she said over there. The women got it. She's not going to let the Rebbe get away with one of these, generic blessings. No. We need a girl for this guy. I'm making that up, but it's true, man. The women got it.
We don't know. Go ahead. Yes. That's what I'm true. Yeah, what's your favorite? After prison. Then you have to now the whole beat. You got the fish. What is the day? You are ready to be here for how long? I want to watch you I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to shout. I'm going to talk about it. It's weird. Starting pushing, but not planning to start pushing. It's more to grab that. Awesome. It's a good idea. To keep the head a year after the coffee, the master, the best of the coffee.
Just notice the Rebbe's attitude. He says, what about marriage, right? My mother brings it up. He says, my teacher said about after Pesach. Look at the Rebbe's attitudes. Always thinking, go. And the Rebbe says, it's a week after Pesach, you haven't done anything about it. Yes, karate. Number one. Number two, what was number two? Number one was hard enough. What was number two? I forgot number two. The Rebbe said about smicha. I'm telling you, Rabbi, I'm in the first class in Fachab. I just, try my best, right? And the Rebbe flips it around and goes, do you have smicha yet? Did you start smicha yet? Don't you intend to do it? Positive. It's amazing. It's amazing. Be just positive. Just go.
I asked them if she could write a letter that said what would be the best thing. It's from the Commissioner Hospital. James might be staying American for a while. I haven't seen him for a few years. I'm not. So I asked them if she could what I should stay for a few weeks until Shores maybe learning here. I don't see this year. So what we should or should we go back to Clark? If you have nothing special for you, then I believe it's easy for you to find the sheet of so you have been.
Now you're going to be, now at this point, you listen to pure prophecy. Every word here is prophecy. Every sentence here is prophecy. How do we not go away?
Then I believe you having so many friends. Also, to Hadin from your study, whether now there is so, and then the nature, of course, of the still, the problem with IT, a lot of people so it is the possibility to choose to give a purely
Okay, you just just heard something nobody won't hear anyone else. The Rebbe says about the wife. Get off the plane, come to Kfar Chabad the next day. I tell my teacher, the guy who told me to do the Tanya by heart, I said, I got this tape recording, and this, the Rebbe said this, that. I said, what do I do now? He said, the Rebbe says you have to get ordination as a rabbi, just start studying, okay? And then I said about the wife, the Rebbe's words were, you've been in Kfar Chabad now for how long? I said about 3 years. He says 3 years? I believe it's the nature of things, the course of things, the nature of things. You have friends and friends from your studies who are now married in Eretz Yisrael, and it'd be natural and easy for them to find you a proper wife in Israel. So he's heard that, and my teacher says, you don't do anything. The Rebbe says, natural? Natural means natural, you don't do anything. What happened was with the wife was, the women like this thing. Maybe after this, I'll let you guys go. I'll break the thing, I'll let you meet my friends and let you guys go. So what happened was like this. So I go to the yeshiva, and it's over there. It's like, 100 yards from here. And I'm in bed. 2 weeks later, a friend of mine wakes me up 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay? This guy, it's a guy from Sfat. He goes, Fishel, get out of bed. 2 weeks later. And I go, Rami. His name is Rami Antiyan. The Barbishers know this guy.
Oh, Shalom.
Oh, Shalom. Yeah, you guys know. Some of you guys know this. Rami Antiyan.
Yeah.
Rami Antiyan. So Rami Antiyan gets me out of bed and he says, 3 o'clock. I said, Fish, get out of bed. I got a shidduch for you. I go, Rami, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, dude. Can we talk about it tomorrow? He goes, get out of bed. So I said, the guys are sleeping. Like, there's other 3 guys in the room. He goes, get out of bed. So, okay, let's talk in the hall. So he takes me to the hall, takes me to the window, and we're in the hall, first floor in the yeshiva right here. And I go, what do you want? And he goes, I got a wife for you. I go, okay, what's the deal? He goes, Shlomo Chaskel, you guys from, Israelis, I know where you guys from. And there's a Lubavitcher in Jerusalem, Shlomo Chaskel. We went to the yeshiva together in Tzfat. When Shlomo called me today, it's a girl, she's 22 years old, her name is Miriam. That's my daughter, man. She's like,
Never heard this.
No, so he goes, Shlomo Chaskel called me this afternoon. She's got a perfect girl. She teaches in the girls' school in Jerusalem, based Chana. She teaches like Tanakh or something. I said, I don't even know what that means. Why? I don't know Tanakh. She teaches Tanakh, so I said, okay, Rami, okay, good. I said, how does she look? You're going to have a son. I just heard this afternoon. I said, okay, it's fine. I'll marry her. True story. 1,000% true, man. So he goes, what are you talking about? You crazy? I said, you don't understand. You don't know. I was in the Rebbe's office 2 weeks ago, and I have a tape recording, and he said, friends from my studies who are now married in Israel, be natural and easy in the way of things, and then find a proper shidduch. So you're my friend. Shlomo Chaskel, the friends from my studies. You're both married now, and the Rebbe said it would be natural. It's natural. Again, laying in bed, you take me out of bed. You never got a wife. It's natural. So he goes. I go, oh yeah, you have a tape recorder of the Rebbe. Okay, great. So he says, okay. So I said, get me a meeting. I had no idea what's that. So get me a meeting. So he walks down the stairs. He's on his way out of the dorms. It's like 3:30 in the morning, man. And he comes back and goes, Fish, let me ask you something. You just told me you have a tape recording. The Rebbe said this, that, and the other thing. And you marry her. But why did you ask if she's good looking? He got me, right? So 3:30 in the morning, I'm going to argue with this guy. And he goes, listen, dude. The Rebbe said it's going to be natural, it'll be easy. And he said it'll be natural and easy. I said, if she's good looking, it'll just be a little bit easier. He goes, you're crazy. I said, I'm crazy. Fine, just get me a meeting. Takes me to a meeting a week later, they make up a meeting. I said, because she teaches in Beis Chana, right? That's a religious school, right? Tanakh sounds religious. It's got to be a religious subject. She teaches in Chabad. Someone vetted her. I mean, right? Someone vetted her. Yeah, I don't need the details. I go to meet her, right? I get off the bus, go to Jerusalem. This is a trip, man. I'm from the University of Vermont, right? So I said to my teacher, what do we do in this thing? How does it work? Because you can do it. You can talk about whatever you want. No touching. Just 2 rules, right? Okay. So I walk in there, and I get off the bus, and I say to my friend Shlomo, I say, what does she look like? And he goes, just go meet her. I said, oh man, if this is going to be a dump, man. This is the first girl I met after becoming religious, man. I've been religious for 4 years. This is like the first time I'm speaking to a girl, right? And he goes, just go meet her. So I walk in, and this is true, man. There is love at first sight. I just walked in the door, and I just saw her. And I said, that's it. I just knew it. I said, that's my wife. I just was my wife. That was the good news. The bad news was that the rest of the meeting I sat there eating the cake and drinking whatever's on the table, right? Because I figured, and making small talk, right? So then we get out there, we talk for an hour, and she's like one of these stern Israeli girls, like she's, like she's got it all. She's asking me a million questions, one of those girls. Like, what are you going to do with your life? I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? First thing, what are you going to do with your life? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think about it. But, there's some food over there, one of those things. So I'm doing this small talk, like in America, that's what we do, right? We small talk. That's what you do. You don't ask what you're going to do in your life. And I said, what is your, I don't know, all these hard questions. She had down like to a thing. I was like the 30th guy she went out with. Really stern, like, one of these, no smiling Israeli girls.